everybody. My name is Manga, and I live in Johannesburg, South Africa. I am so grateful and blessed to be here with you today to share some of my thoughts and some of my insights and some tools and techniques of breathwork that have helped me and that have helped some of the people that I work with. And it's a beautiful opportunity for me to be sharing those with you today. I think that we are living in a time that is incredibly confusing. It's a time of uncertainty for all of us on the planet. And as much as we're all aware that we are in the same crisis situation, I also think that it's really profound that through World Breathing Day, we have an opportunity to remember that we are all connected through a universal breath. So I invite you right now to appreciate that feeling, that connection. I read something beautiful recently that says that in a 24-hour day, we will breathe at least one molecule of air of every person that has ever walked the planet. I mean, just consider that. It's just incredible that we're sharing consciousness from the beginning of time. I think it is particularly amazing for me to be living in Africa, South Africa, very close to the cradle of humankind. And as the world is rebirthing, I feel that perhaps it's time to come back to the cradle, maybe not physically, but in a way that just acknowledges where we all came from, the fact that we are all the same. And today I'd also like to offer the gift of the grounding energy of Africa, the cradle, the warmth of the cradle, the safety of the cradle of Mother Energy. I think it's a time to return to that feeling of safety that lies within us, that lies deep within us, and that connects us all as community, even though we're feeling isolated. In some way, this period is deepening our connection with each other. So thank you for joining me today. I have been considering over the last few months what healing means. What is the process of healing? And it really is a process. Healing is not a static state or a destination. Health is not a destination that we arrive at. It is a constant work in progress. It's a constant state of flux. Just as nature is in flux, we as part of nature is in a constant state of flux. And as part of the body's innate intelligence, it's constantly working to maintain a state of balance and equilibrium. And sometimes when we experience illness or we experience a symptom that we label as an illness or diagnosis, that symptom is actually part of the healing process. That symptom is part of the body's way of bringing us back to a state of equilibrium. So even that is a gift of healing. So I think that's really important to understand that the body is constantly working for us. And perhaps our role is to come back into alignment with that flow, to come back into alignment with the body's innate natural healing ability rather than working against it. And because of our human need to have a quick fix to feel better now, we tend to work against that natural way, that natural rhythm, the time that it requires for healing to happen. And this is happening on a collective level on our planet too. We're all clamoring for the solution, but perhaps we need to give ourselves the time to let this balance happen naturally. And so this is an opportunity to find that silence within so that we can participate in this balance process that is happening. And just to trust this, that this is part of nature bringing itself back into balance. As scary as the world seems right now, I think it's important to have that awareness. Something else I've been thinking about healing is, how do we create the right conditions for healing to happen? Because healing happens when we create the right environment for it. And if we look at the body's autonomic nervous system and the rhythm of the stress response and the rest and digest mode, the body can only activate healing if we are in a state of rest and digest, what we call the parasympathetic nervous system. And that rest and digest mode will only kick in if we perceive safety. When we perceive that our world is safe, when we perceive that our internal environment is safe, the body will naturally kick into a parasympathetic healing state. What does that mean for us now? How do we find safety in a time where everything feels so uncertain? How do we find safety in a world that seems so unsafe? We're being bombarded with messages that everything is dangerous, that it's not safe to touch anything, to be near anybody. How do we feel safe when we're wondering if there's something that's in our system that might, cause illness? And so the breath becomes even more important to create that space and feeling of safety, even though we might not be perceiving it on a mind level. How can we send messages of safety to our body? And the quickest and most effective and most powerful way to do that is to turn to our breath and to work with it really consciously and very deeply and with an open-hearted trust. So today, I'd like to offer 3 practices that I have found very useful at this time. And the first practice is for grounding. The first practice is to find a way to rest in the eye of the storm. And this is a very simple and basic practice that is the basis of any breath work. It is simply breath awareness. It's a mindfulness practice. And when we become aware of the breath, we can become aware of our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, the areas of tension that the body is holding for us, which then gives us an opportunity to open up to that, to work with it really consciously and with deep compassion. So we're going to practice breath awareness together now. And you can practice with me as I guide this short practice. So let's just begin with a sigh of relief, softening into the body and preparing a posture of presence. And the posture of presence is uncrossing your feet, placing both feet on the floor, receiving the support of the ground underneath you, relaxing into that support. Softening the back of the neck, relaxing the shoulders, and sitting in a way that reflects presence, softness, and open-heartedness. Perhaps you can let your hands rest on your lap with your palms facing upwards. And facing your palms upwards also creates a softening and an opening across the heart. And this posture of presence, simply this posture, is already sending messages and signals of safety to the nervous system. Let's begin by turning our attention to the sensations of the breath in the nostrils, the slightly cooler air of the inhale, warmer air of the exhale. Let's just stay with these sensations for a while. Now track the breath as it moves down the back of the throat. And see if you can feel into the place where you cannot feel the physical breath anymore, when the breath, the physical breath, transforms into an energetic experience. Enjoy the feeling of the rise and fall of your belly as you inhale and exhale. No need to breathe in any particular way right now. Just let your awareness follow the natural rise and fall, ebb and flow of your breath. Relax into that soft rhythm and feel how the belly, the chest responds to that. Get curious around how fast you are breathing, how slowly you are breathing. Track the details of the sensations. Is there a part of your body that is asking for more openness, asking for more breath, more energy, more life force? Can you soften into that place? Can you open up your whole body to the breathing experience? Now return your attention to the feeling of the rise and fall of your belly and allow that to be the anchor of your awareness. So invite thoughts, allow emotions to rise up. Keep the doors of your perception wide open. And as you become aware of thoughts, emotional impressions, simply observe, watch, accept, be curious, and gently return your attention back to the anchor of your awareness, the feeling of the rise and fall of your belly. Feel that every breath brings you closer to rest in the eye of the storm. Let the breath anchor you back home to this quiet center within yourself that is always there, always present, always ready to welcome you back home. And so we can reach it into the intensity of the world, the demands of the world, and we can return here, home, to rest, to replenish, to recover. Now holding this feeling of stillness, peace, gently become aware of your senses, the sounds around you. See if you can hold that feeling of stillness as you bring your awareness back to the room, feeling the ground underneath your feet and deepening your breath, sighing the breath out, very gently opening soft eyes. And giving yourself a stretch as you return back to the room. Thank you for joining me. So that is a grounding practice and really one of my favorite practices, to rest in the eye of the storm amidst this overwhelm. The second practice I'd like to offer you today is a practice that really creates the conditions for healing to happen. By activating the rest and digest mode through stimulating the vagus nerve. So we know that when we inhale, it is a naturally energizing feeling. And when we exhale, it's calming and relaxing. So every rhythm of the inhale and exhale is the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system at play to maintain a state of equilibrium and balance. When we can consciously use the inhale and exhale really skillfully, then we can use a long exhale to stimulate the vagus nerve and activate the body's self-healing capability. So the technique I'm going to offer you now is called the double exhale. And essentially this is doubling the time that we spend on the exhalation. For example, if we're breathing in for a full breath and that breath lasts for 4 seconds, for example, then we would double that time on the exhalation. So we would breathe out for a count of 8 seconds. When we breathe through the nose, it is naturally calming. So for this exercise, we're going to be breathing through the nose. So we'll start with a ratio of, well, breathing in for 4 and breathing out for 8. If you can manage a slightly longer one, then you can do that. So you can, for example, inhale for 5 seconds and exhale for 10 seconds, depending on your lung capacity. But let's just stick to an average of an inhale for 4 seconds and an exhale for 8 seconds through the nose. It's really important that when we are doing this exercise and we're breathing in, that we're keeping the neck and the shoulders really soft and relaxed. So imagine, I'm just going to move my camera here. Imagine that the breath begins here. And as we're inhaling, we're feeling the 3-dimensional extension, that the breath is opening up in 3 dimensions, starting from the center. Imagine that you're breathing in from the center and exhaling slowly. So feel like your whole body is breathing. So settle into your comfortable position. Uncrossing your feet, relaxing back in your chair, or if you're lying on your bed. Begin with a soft exhale. Breathing in for a count of 4. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now in your own time, filling your body with energy and exhaling slowly, cooling, calming, centering, letting go. Let the body receive the next inhale and relax, soften, deepen into the exhale. And keep doing this at your own time, in your own rhythm. Just enjoying that sense of calmness and letting go and surrender and stillness that the exhale brings. Let's just do 2 more cycles like this. And then relax the breath. Just keeping your eyes closed, feeling into what you're experiencing right now. The quality of energy. Quiet. And hold this feeling as you gently bring your awareness back to the room. Moving, stretching. Thank you. So the last technique that I'd like to share with you today is really one of my favorites. And especially at this time in the world where there's so much noise and there's so much information and there's so many opinions. It's a beautiful technique just to find the silence within. And I think we even may be overwhelmed by the noise in our own heads right now. And this comes from a yoga practice. Some of you might know it well. I'm finding it particularly useful at this time, and it's called humming bee breath. And really it helps us to withdraw the senses and find the centering within, and it creates a really beautiful vibration, a gentle vibration in the body. So I'm going to explain the technique and then we can practice it together. So it is a nice, long, slow inhalation through the nose. And then on the exhale, we're going to be closing off the ears with the thumbs. Okay. So just gently closing off the ears and then placing the fingers just over the eyes. You can place 2 fingers over the actual eye, the closed eye, if that's what you prefer, very gently without applying pressure. Or you can simply just cup your fingers over your eyes with a little finger over your cheekbone and the index finger and the middle finger over your forehead, like this. And the exhalation is a long hum. So it looks like this. Until you breathe out completely, you empty the lungs completely, followed by another long inhalation through the nose and continue. And we can do a few cycles like this. So let's begin. One more cycle. Relax your hands, eyes closed. Just enjoy this gentle, soft vibration. When you're ready, very gently open your eyes and come back to the awareness of the room. Just feel into the quality of this energy right now as you come out. So thank you so much for joining me across the world. So wonderful to connect with all of you. And I wish you all so much peace. I send you all so much love. Stay safe, stay centered, stay connected, and stay really resting in the peace that resides within and the joy of your natural state. Thank you, everyone.